Tuesday afternoon. Someone slides a folder across the conference table. Your name is on the tab. Inside, a new operation, 17 months in scope, 3 countries, 42 agents across 6 offices. It will matter enormously. Nobody outside this room will ever know it happened. You open the folder. The room has already moved on to the next slide. The question is not what is inside that folder. The question is what you gave up to be the one they handed it to. Level 1. New agent trainee. The alarm goes off at 4:47 in the morning. Not because you set it that way, because the trainee in the bunk above you knocked it off the shelf and it hit the linoleum still ringing. You were already awake. Quantico is not what you pictured. You pictured something cinematic. You got fluorescent corridors and a drill instructor who calls everyone by their last name, including himself, and 21 weeks standing between you and the badge. You do not sleep well through a single one of them. The Hogan's Alley simulation runs you through a fake town built on federal land. Fake bank, fake post office, fake diner with a robbery already in progress when you push through the door. You clear rooms alongside 11 other trainees who are just as lost, and instructors watch from somewhere above with clipboards and expressions that give away nothing. Nobody tells you your score. You figure out your score by whether they keep calling your name at morning roll. The fitness test comes every week. 6.1 miles. Creek crossings, rope walls, mud pits that appear before dawn like something personal. Your hands stop looking like your hands somewhere around week 9. What you gain here is the beginning of a credential. What it costs you is the version of yourself who assumed this would feel like becoming someone. It does not feel like that. It feels like being taken apart first, then rebuilt into something the Bureau can use. You do not notice the difference yet. Level 2. Special Agent. Your first field office is not Washington. It is not anywhere you planned for. It sits above a dry cleaner in a mid-sized city where the parking situation has gone unresolved for 11 years and 3 office managers. You get a desk, a case file, a supervisor with 19 years in, who answers maybe 40% of your questions and considers that generous. The first case is bank fraud. $40,000 moved through 3 shell companies to a man who lives in a beige house 22 minutes from the office. You drive past that house 4 times before you understand what surveillance actually requires. Patience. You have not built it yet. The badge is yours now, solid. You feel it through the jacket sometimes, not because you reach for it, but because your body has quietly memorized that it is there, a strange kind of certainty. You are not sure yet whether to trust it. 60 hours some weeks, 70 when a case opens badly. You eat at your desk on Tuesdays and Thursdays and most Saturdays. Your apartment is a studio you have slept in maybe 28 nights across your entire first year. The rest of the nights belong to something else. Nobody outside the building knows what you closed this week. Nobody inside says it out loud either. You file the report, clear the desk, pick up the next folder. Level 3, Senior Special Agent, 3 years in, maybe 4. You have enough closed cases now that the Bureau assigns you the harder ones: counter-terrorism, public corruption, organised crime. The files come thicker, the hours stretch further, and the coffee in the break room has started tasting like nothing at all. You develop sources. That is the Bureau's word for it. Sources. What it actually means is that you maintain relationships with people who exist on the wrong side of a line, and you keep those relationships alive and quiet and completely invisible, and sometimes one of them calls from a parking lot at 2 a.m. because something unraveled, and your number is the only one they trust to pick up. Your brother's birthday dinner is in April. You show up. You make it through the main course. Your phone vibrates inside your jacket pocket during the cake, and you step outside. 18 minutes later, you come back in. He is already putting his coat on. He does not look at you when he leaves. The door closes before you sit down. You tell yourself you will call him that weekend. What you gain at this level is competence. Genuine, tested, weight-bearing competence. Surprises arrive more slowly now. What it costs is harder to say out loud. You start to explain your work to someone at a dinner and stop yourself midway through a sentence because the true answer would take 3 hours and still leave things out. What comes next is the part most people never see from the inside. Level 4. Supervisory Special Agent. Now you are responsible for other people. 8 agents, their cases, their errors, their performance reviews, which you write at 11 at night after everything else is done. Nobody announces the change, it just arrives. One morning, you realize you have not touched an active case in 6 weeks. You are in conference rooms, you are reading reports other people wrote, you are approving decisions you would have made differently 5 years ago, and learning to let them stand anyway. Because the agent who made them needs to learn the same way you did, which is through the weight of the consequence. Power at this level looks like leadership. It functions like a ceiling. You can see everything above you clearly, and nothing you do here gets you closer to it without giving up something you have not yet agreed to give. If this is landing for you, subscribing takes 2 seconds and means you never miss one of these. Level 5. Assistant Special Agent in Charge. A division now. Dozens of agents, multiple live investigations, a budget you answer for each quarter, a chain of command that speaks in benchmarks and expects results delivered in that same language back. You know, some agents by their clearance level before you know them by first name. That is not something you chose. It is something that happens when authority scales past a certain size, and by the time you notice it, it has been true for months already. Your clearance is high enough now that the cases you oversee reach into things most Americans will never know existed. You carry certain information the way other people carry keys, automatically. The weight of it only registers when you stop moving long enough to feel it. The next level has a cost nobody describes until you are already inside it paying it. Level 6. Special Agent in Charge. You run the field office, all of it. The building, the city, the Bureau's entire presence in this region. Every press statement with your name attached. Every resource decision. Every call made at the highest point of a crisis, where the margin between the right choice and the wrong one is sometimes thinner than the page you are signing. A particular kind of solitude lives at the top of a field command. The agents below you no longer speak to you the way they speak to each other. Headquarters communicates in directives. The city around you knows your title, but not your name. Not the actual one. Not the one your brother used before the calls stopped. A reporter stops you outside after a public statement and asks what drew you to this work originally. You begin to answer. You pause. 2 seconds, which is not long, but feels long. You give a correct, professional, complete answer. That night, you reach for the actual answer, the one that existed before the language of command replaced it. You almost find it. Most people assume the top is where it gets easier. It is not. Level 7, Assistant Director, Washington now. A different kind of stillness. Carpeted corridors. Meetings that require a separate classified briefing before the meeting itself can begin. You oversee field offices across multiple regions. You brief senators in rooms with no windows. You coordinate with agencies that do not officially coordinate with each other. The work is enormous. The recognition of it is close to nothing. The decisions you make reach further than anything you have touched in 31 years, and they carry no byline, no ceremony, no moment where someone says your name and means something personal by it. You gave the Bureau your 20s, your sleep, your first marriage. One brother who stopped returning calls around year 14. A version of yourself who sat in a parking lot outside his first field office the Sunday before week 1 started, feeling genuinely afraid and, underneath the fear, genuinely alive in a way that has not returned in a form he would recognize. On a Tuesday afternoon, someone slides a folder across the conference table. Your name is on the tab. Inside, a new operation, 17 months in scope, 3 countries involved, 42 agents across 6 offices. It will matter enormously. Nobody outside this room will ever know it happened. You open the folder. The room has already moved on to the next slide. If you stayed this long, you already know this channel is worth staying on. Subscribe and the next one finds you.